Hello and welcome to the end of the taxes unit. You are now at the taxes unit exam. And what you're going to do here is in this exam, you're going to be given certain tax scenarios of individuals, and you're going to calculate how much taxes they're going to pay in total. So you can watch this video and I'm going to walk you through the process of how to do this. So you're going to be given scenarios, and then you got three boxes here. You're going to have tax information and calculators, personal information, and then tax bracket information, and you're going to calculate taxes for federal taxes, state taxes, capital gains taxes, Social Security taxes, and at the end, you're going to calculate the person's overall tax rate by taking the total taxes added up and dividing it by their income for the year. So let's do this first scenario with Michael. And again, look at the information and calculators first. So you're going to use this for federal taxes. The state tax information for the person is here. And then the federal Social Security tax will always be 6.2% of income. So let's now look at the personal information here. So this is Michael Young filing in taxes for year 2023. And state of residence is Illinois. Filing status is single. Income for the year is $68,700. Capital gains on the year, Michael had, looks like 2,900 of long-term gains, and itemized deductions had 6,700. You might not use these if it's not as much as the standard deduction. So again, be careful on if you use these or if you use the standard deduction. So with that, let's go ahead, and this is how you're going to do the assignment. Again, right here, you can just type in federal income tax here, and then you can do state. And then you had Social Security, or capital gains was next. Then Social Security. All right, and you can just find each of these, and then at the end, you're going to find the overall tax rate for the person. So let's start with the federal tax. It's going to be the biggest tax, and we're going to use the NerdWallet federal tax calculator. So we'll click this link, and it's going to take us to the calculator. And now we're just going to fill in Michael's personal information here. So filing status is single. So filing status is single. Income for the year for Michael was $68,700. So you can type that in, 68,700. And then unless they're over 65, this won't matter. And we're not doing any sort of contributions in this scenario. And what else do we need? We need to figure out if we're going to use his itemized deductions or the standard deduction. And for the filing status of single, the standard deduction is $13,850. And you can also look at this right here, $13,850 for filing status. Michael's itemized deductions were $6,700. So you really are just going to want to go with the standard deduction here. So with that, it shows here, Michael will owe around $7,374 of federal tax. So type that in. And because again, the standard deduction subtracts from his income. So 68,700 minus 13,850 is going to give you $54,850 that he's taxed on. So this is the amount of federal tax that he'll pay right here, $7,374. So we found the federal, $7,374. And you don't need to include cents in this. If you just keep it to the dollar amount, that's fine. State tax. So state tax is going to be, in this case, based on the specific state. So here he lives in Illinois. Illinois has a state flat tax rate of 4.95%, meaning everybody, no matter of income, you're going to pay 4.95%. So let's go ahead and calculate that right here. You're just going to go the income for the year, and note that if you can only use itemized deductions for state. So if you use the standard deduction for federal, you have to use that for state as well, which means you don't have any deductions for state. So you're going to go as whole income, which is going to be 68,700 times the tax rate of 4.95. And remember, we want to get that to the multiplier. We're not going to times it by 4.95, but we're going to do the 0.495 because this represents a multiplier of 4.95%. and that will give us our federal or our state tax rate. And again, I'm just going to do this on my calculator, and I would recommend you do it as well. 68,700 times 0.0495. So he's going to end up paying $3,400 in state taxes in the state of Illinois. Now we're going to go for a capital gains tax, and capital gains tax is going to fall in the bracket here. So you're going to first find his income level, and then is he going to pay 0, 15, or 20% on this 2,900? So let's go ahead and see here. So he's got income for the year 68,700, filing as single. So that's going to fall in this range, go over. So he's going to be taxed at 15% on these profits. So let's go ahead and do $2,900 times the multiplier of 15%. And you can write it as 0.15, and you should probably write this one as 0. And that's going to give you, let's go ahead and do that, 2,900 times 0.15, $435 of capital gains tax he has to pay. And finally, Social Security. And for this one, you can also use the taxable income deduction, the standard deduction, which means you're going to be taxed federally at $58,850 for your Social Security tax. And so we're going to times that by, it's the same for any state, any tax bracket, anything. It's going to be 6.2%. So we're going to multiply that by 0.62, or that's 62%. Remember that extra 0 if it's a single digit tax. And that's going to give us 58,850 times 0.062% is going to be $3,648 of Social Security tax. And now for our overall tax rate, you can actually just have this right here, but do this below. So add up all of these taxes. So you're going to add up the federal, the state, the capital gains, and the Social Security. And then we're going to divide that by our income for the year, not the taxable income, because we want to find out what the effective tax rate is, not the tax rate after we want to figure out just how much percentage total did the government actually take total. And so we're going to add all these up first. So we got 7,374 plus 3,400 plus 435 plus 3,648. So that's going to be total $14,857 that Michael paid in taxes. But the tax rate is, we're going to take this and divide it by his income for the year. So make a space so you can kind of make it easy. So you're going to go this number divided by his income for the year, which was $68,700. And then that's going to give you the tax rate. And it's going to be, so if you do this divided by 68,700, 0.21% or 216, which we know is going to be a 21.6% effective tax rate that Michael paid for the year. And then again, we didn't include Medicaid taxes or some local county taxes. So if you want to find how much he actually would have ended up paying, plus just add about 4% to that. And so that means on the year, he'd probably end up paying about 25.6% in federal tax, in total taxes for everything added up together. So that is how you do this test. You're going to be given 2 scenarios. It's going to be phrased and look exactly the same. The information will just be different, but this is how you do that. And then when you're done, click next, go on to the next scenario, and submit the quiz. Hope this video helped and you can be happy because we wrapped up the tax unit. And take it easy because we're going to move into the next unit after spring break.